Welcome back to everyone to the Martian Tomato Podcast. I am Marley or Mars Bars.
And Brennan/Tomato.
And it's been 2 weeks since we actually did our last podcast. I apologize for skipping on last week. Both of us had some personal stuff that we had to deal with, so we weren't able to do it. And it was honestly kind of the worst time to not do a podcast because a lot of news relating to DC movies and shows have been coming out lately for the past week or so. So what we're going to be doing this week is that we're actually going to be kind of not really cramming in, but we're going to be like stuffing in two episodes worth of material that we could discuss. And more to it, we're also going to be or discussing both episodes 8 and 9 of Stargirl. Episode 8 was last week's, that was Shiv Part 2, and episode 9, which I forgot the name of the episode. But yeah, before we jump in, make sure to go check out our Instagram account. That'll be Galactic Arrowverse Hump. Link would be down in the description. We are currently doing our villains series, which are ranking our top 10 villains, but we'll also keep you up to date on anything relating to the podcast, as well as giving you obviously reviews of anything relating to DC or Star Wars. Anyways, we'll jump right into episodes 8 and 9 of Stargirl. Brennan, do you want to take it away?
Hey, yes, I would. So, the last two episodes of Stargirl have been really good. Like, they're doing everything properly. They're bringing up characters, not even like the main one, like the main ones. They're bringing up people like Henry King, which is good, and they're also bringing up they're bringing up like all like characters, which I think is good. Like, they're not just focusing on like main character Stargirl. They're bringing up every character, which makes the show even better. Both these episodes were really, really good. I like how Courtney's slowly becoming more of a leader type, trying to more understand how be a leader, how to do stuff right instead of do stuff wrong, just to try to make everyone else involved and not just her. We'll have to see how that goes. I think everything in this show has been really good so far. I can't really complain. Like, this first season of Stargirl is absolutely amazing. Like, I have no complaints. There was like one mediocre episode that I didn't enjoy as much, but it's fine. The rest of the episodes have been really good. Yeah, I think Stargirl has probably been the best the best first season of like the Arrowverse shows I've watched so far, I must say.
Yeah, for sure. I think the last two episodes are prime examples of just how good this show is. With episode 8, it actually, before I jump into episode 8, what I really like about Stargirl is how unique each episode is. Like, it has its own like tone, like the first episode was kind of like, a little bit of an upbeat tone. And second episode, it was upbeat at first, but it gets really dark like near the end. I think sorry, like third episode. That's what I meant. Third episode, not second episode. But yeah, the first two episodes were like very upbeat. With episode 8, it was basically a thriller, like a drama thriller, which I was not expecting because like you never know what's going to happen. Like you can kind of make like a prediction as to what's going to happen, but you don't know when it's going to happen or like what's going to happen in between. And like I was on the edge of my seat for every minute of that episode, and it was like because like when you look at like scenes like when Cindy visits Courtney, while she's injured, she was staying back home, that was just like whoa, like I wonder how this scene's gonna turn out, and like yeah, it was like what they were just talking about, like just like simple and all that stuff. But like that like something's going to happen at the end of the scene, and something did happen. Sydney reveals that I know you're Stargirl. I'm going to kill all your friends and all that stuff, which is like wow, like that's going to happen, but you don't know when or don't know like how they're going to execute their ideas. Another thing is that when Beth is inspecting Cindy's house, she kind of goes into the tunnels and stumbles upon like some of the stuff ISA related. As well as going into Cindy's room and finding that her picture of her father, that one Japanese war criminal, that's insane. More to it, like, and not just that, but that also kind of moves story along really well. I think it's great,
When I first
because like sorry, I was just trying to finish off and say that like, with some DC shows they kind of have a problem moving their story along. I think Stargirl is really great, but then again, it has like 13 episodes, I believe, so it's like, that's kind of perfect. I kind of want most DC shows to have 13 episodes only because it
Yeah.
flushes out any filler episodes, and it kind of forces the writers to be like, okay,
Yeah.
we I'm not going to say like move the plot along in every episode, but make every episode worth something, you know, even
Yeah.
if it's not like a even if it might seem like a filler, it really isn't. Like take a look at like Arrow season 8 only had like what 10 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Around that.
like you know, like when they were looking at what was it, the what that one episode where future Team Arrow, you know, they were sent back in time to present Team Arrow. At first it kind of seemed like a filler episode, but then it really didn't, because it was really like a character bonding episode, you know. It's
Yeah.
all about character development, which I thought was great, you know. I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be like another like just like a filler episode, but it really wasn't. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, DC shows should, you know, stick to shorter seasons, so it
Mhm.
just, you know, flushes out all of the kind of like the pointless like filler episodes, you know. No matter
Yeah.
how cool they are, you know, I do prefer having like, you know, consistency in storytelling over just mindless, you know, oh, here's this one episode that's just like a throwaway, you know. So
Yeah. When I first saw the Sydney and like Stargirl like interact when she was or Courtney were sitting in her bed, I'm like, does she not know? Because it was awkward. They didn't really. They were just talking about stuff about the dance and whatnot. I'm like, oh, does she really not know that that's Stargirl? And then at the end, it's like, oh, I thought that was kind of cool. Like the dramatic. It was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go kill
yeah, it
your
was.
friends.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat throughout the entire scene, because it's like she could have snapped at any moment, and then right
Yeah,
when she was about to leave, that's when she kind of kind of reveals everything, which was kind of
yeah,
insane too, you know. And like, yeah, again, like I said, that episode really did seem like a filler, but I guess if you were gonna take a look at the biggest takeaways from that episode, it would be obviously Sydney, or like the ISA related stuff, because like in episode 9 she kind of gets locked up, right? You
yeah,
know, because she kind of like disobeys her father and all that stuff. But
yeah,
more to, I think the biggest takeaway would be Henry King Jr.'s powers manifesting, because throughout that episode, we do see his powers kind of beginning to grow. You know, he find like
yeah.
it's kind of like being flushed out or fleshed out. You know, finally, and
Mm,
actually that becomes the whole like the focal point of episode 9, which was last night's episode. Um,
yeah,
I really liked where he was looking back into his father's like old tapes,
yeah,
you know, like, and him like discovering his powers through, you know, his father's old tapes and stuff like that.
yeah,
And I feel like episode 9 was like the entire episode was just like a one big character study for Henry King Jr. Yeah,
yeah,
we did get really important stuff. Like for example, we not like now we know what the JSA is doing with Project New America, like because that was like their whole
mhm,
grand plan. But more to it, now we know why both Brainwave and are so important to the ISA, because you know their powers are can be used to, you know, kind of control, like not control, but kind of run this machine that they're gonna, or device that they're gonna use, which actually reminded me of that one device Lena used in season 5 of
yeah,
Supergirl, because she wanted to like mind control so many people. Yeah, same thing here. Except like, yeah, we're actually using, you know, I guess like a not really metahuman, but yeah, I guess like someone with powers, you know, to control a machine, which is interesting.
yeah,
But yeah, like with episode 9, I think it was just like a one big character study. Like when you had that scene with Henry King Jr. and Courtney, you know, they were talking to each other like in the hospital. I feel like Courtney was asking, like, was just like throwing at questions that kind of like flesh out his personality more than just herself, but to the audience as well. I think it was a great way for the writers to kind of flesh out his character, so that we know, okay, because like they like I feel like he's going to play a big role. If he's going to
yeah.
play
He's
like a
gonna play a
massive
major
role in
role.
later episodes, I feel like they should like flesh out his character and see why he's so important, you know?
Yeah,
So like we kind of get like a little bit of like his like you know, personality, what he thinks about the world and stuff like that. He kind of develops all that from his father's tapes and all that stuff.
yeah,
Which is great, and like I feel like that also is both contrasting, but also comparing to Yolanda's scene with Henry King Jr. later that episode, where she goes in as Wildcat, and more or less kind of like kind of threatens him to not talk to Courtney anymore. I think it's really
yeah,
interesting too, because like we kind of get a little bit more of both Yolanda and Henry, We kind of get a little bit more of both their characters too, and how they feel about each other. Which is really interesting too. So it adds more depth to both of those characters. And again, like I said, like this episode has just been one huge character study, which adds a lot of depth to Henry King Jr. Which, again, like I said, makes me think that he's going to play a massive role later in later episodes too. So yeah.
And speaking of like Yolanda and Henry, I'm like, I get it that like he posted was it nude photos of her or whatever. I think that's what it was, or something
Yeah.
like that. Like on the other hand, like he can probably he's going to be the main guy. I don't know if he's going to be a villain. I don't know if he's going to be a good guy either. I feel like he's going to get captured and be forced to use the thing. I think.
Yeah,
Probably
like
what's
you
going
can
to happen.
definitely tell, like in this episode, you can tell like the amount of like struggle and like he's very confused, but he's still
He's very
struggling. Yeah,
confused.
he's struggling a lot, and I feel I do agree with you. I feel like he's going to be used by the ISA, and I feel like that's going to be like the breaking point that sets him like maybe on the good side or whatever if we're ever going to get that or something like that, you know. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really interesting to see his character flesh out. I think he has such a very unique type of character, that, unlike everyone else in the show. Well, compared to
Yeah.
everyone else in the show.
Yeah, and I must say, when Yolanda said, I'll kill you," she's not gonna kill him. Let's be honest here. You're a hero. When was the last time a hero killed in like any show besides like
Hmm.
Arrow at the beginning? I don't
Yeah.
think just like random threats like that. I like she has never killed someone before. Like unless I'm tripping and she killed someone and I totally forgot about it, but I don't think she has.
No, no.
So we'll have to see how that goes. Like, and I would like to learn a little bit more about Icicle. I just want to see him use his powers in general. We did kind of get that in like one episode sort of thing. I want to see like a full on battle with like him or Stargirl or something like that because I want to see like his full potential powers.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah. We actually got like hints of like him like kind of like revealing his
Yeah,
identity to like everyone else in this episode too. Which
yeah,
I don't know if I don't think they're going to I really don't think they're going to kind of explore in the next episode, because the next episode is going
yeah.
to focus on I guess the JSA finally fighting Dragon King, as well as
Yeah,
Courtney's mother as well, because in yesterday's episode we did get that huge cliffhanger, not huge, but we did get that cliffhanger of Courtney's mom walking in on both Pat and Courtney with the staff.
yeah.
I feel like yeah, she's gonna play a very interesting role in both Pat and Courtney, with Pat and Courtney at least.
I will have to
And
see because Courtney says yeah she wants to leave and I'm just like what happened like there's no way like she saw a staff and be like yeah we're out. Oh, there's a demon or something like that. I would just like to see like what conversation goes on between those three.
yeah, yeah, I'm really curious. The next episode has got me really curious.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah.
very curious as well.
But yeah, speaking of shows and seasons and whatnot, um, we also like for the past couple episodes we've been discussing or we've been ranking some of the Arrowverse shows or the CWDC shows, like Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Legends. But there have been other Arrowverse shows that we've watched that we haven't really included in that list
Yeah,
or included in terms of ranking. There have been other shows like Doom Patrol, um, what else? Smallville. We haven't gone around to watching those shows, but two shows that
yeah.
Brendan and I have watched are um, Titans and
Teams
Black
and Black.
Lightning. So I guess we can talk about Black Lightning first, because there's 3 seasons.
Yeah,
I would like okay. The last time we were recorded this, we got to the point where like we were gonna be ranking each season of Black Lightning, but now I think I just want to like give our thoughts on each season. So Brendan, you
yeah.
want to take it away with season 1 of Black Lightning and your
Yeah,
thoughts on
so
it?
season one of Black Lightning is probably it's not the worst one in my opinion. It's more of just like bringing up characters for us, trying to get to know the characters for us to try to like the characters. I think is more like main goal of season one, which is probably the main goal of every season one ever. But I wouldn't say season one is the worst one for me. Obviously, um, Black Lightning for me is kind of a weird show. Um, like Like this, like it's just weird because it's like hard to like it because it's like don't really know much about it yet. There's only been 3 seasons, obviously, so yeah, I don't really know much to say because I haven't watched. I watched Black Lightning. I finished Black Lightning like a couple months ago, so I don't really remember much. To be completely honest, I remember some things and whatnot, but I don't know really what to say about the first season. The first season, like I
Yeah,
said, is just them learning how to use their powers and whatnot.
yeah. First season of Black Lightning, I'd say it was really boring. I'd say it's the most boring out of all the seasons. But the thing is that it's not a very memorable season. Like I honestly like forgot like what happened. I honestly kind of forgot what happened in season one, other than I guess like there was like a school shooting type of thing where like Khalil like like went with like Tobias, like they shot up a school or something like that. I think that was really the only thing that I really remembered from that one season. But like I don't know, it's so forgettable because like there's like it's just like void of any emotion, or like
Mhm.
it's like the opposite of vibrant. Basically, it
Yeah.
is so boring. But like, yeah, I do agree. It's not like the worst season ever. I think like the worst season is season two, but I'll get to that
Yeah.
later. But with season one, I don't know. Like the characters feel bland, the story feels bland. And another problem I have with that was that it introduced like with Anissa and her becoming Lightning. I think that was introduced way too early. I feel like they should have waited at least like another season in order to do that. Like I really don't like how both the girls are already like having their powers manifest. I kind of wanted to save that for later
Mhm.
seasons, but like um, I mean, I guess like it was good in season three when it came to Jennifer's
Yeah.
powers, but like with Anessa in season one, I feel like it was rushed. Like I feel like her gaining powers was rushed. I feel like it should have just been focused on Black Lightning and himself, because like once the girls came in the scene or come into the picture, they kind of just
Mhm.
get all the attention away from the main character, which is Black Lightning. And I don't like that because this show is about Black Lightning. I mean, yeah, those are Black Lightning characters, but like like I don't know, it's like like they just don't know how to handle their characters properly. It's either that they rush things or it just gets too boring. Like, the pacing is so off in season 1. I can't really say the same about
Yeah.
season 2 because I think this pacing is better, but it's more or less just the actual storytelling itself. So actually, I think I want to start off with season 2. Now, season 2 was also pretty boring, but like my biggest problem with that is that okay, look, it tried to be better than season 1. It tried to have more grander storytelling. But the problem is whenever something happened, like there was something apparently big is going to happen, right? And then it happens, and that's it. There's like no big payoff to it. It's like the climax is like so bland. Like because like the buildup
Yeah.
is like great. The buildup's pretty good. But like the climax is so bland, it's like, oh, that's all that happens. Well, this is kind of like dumb. Like when Khalil quote unquote died in season 2, it's like the buildup to that was insane, right? Because he was
Yeah.
on the run. He was on the run from like him and Jennifer were on the run from just everyone, right?
Yeah.
But like then Tobias Bill gets him, he gets killed, and that was it.
Yeah.
He dies. Like that's it. I mean, there's nothing really else that happens to it.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, the payoff was not worth it at all. Like the climax was so bad, and like they just resolve it there. There's no like real resolution to whatever the story arc is. So
Season 2 for me was the most boring season. Like I could have slept through that easily, bro. Like that season was just so boring. Like like you said, like Khalil dying. Like I didn't. Khalil was my favorite character, and I didn't really care. Like, I really
yeah,
didn't. It
yeah.
was
Another
that
thing,
boring.
another thing, like is that like I took such a long break from Black Lightning. Like after Khalil died, like the season just went to trash. It was really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So much so that I took like what was it like? I don't know if you remember. It was like a month or 2 month break from the
Yeah.
show because like I
Yeah.
could not like I kept telling myself every day that like yeah I'd watch Black Lightning again, but I never did because I didn't have any interest in finishing the season. But I kind of needed to because now it's in the Arrowverse. It's on Earth Prime, so it's like oh well now I
Yeah.
kind of have to watch it, just in case for any
Yeah.
future crossover event. But I'm kind of glad that I got over seasons 1 and 2 because Moving on to season 3, like okay, like season 3 is like a whole nother ballpark. Like season 3, I'm just gonna say right now is no joke one of the best like seasons of the Arrowverse I ever watched. Now it's
Yeah,
not like on the same level as like Arrow seasons 1, 2, 5, and 8, right? It's not on
yeah.
the same level as Stargirl right now. Like I'd say all of Stargirl right now is better than season 3 of Black Lightning. But
I
Black
totally
Lightning
agree.
season 3 is still really good. Like honestly, like if I were to recommend you guys to watch a new DC show, watch Black Lightning. Like here's the thing, guys.
Skip the first two
You're
seasons,
gonna
just
have
go
to
to
sit
season
through the
three.
first 2 seasons because it's really bad. But
So
season 3 is worth it.
just skip the first 2 seasons, just go straight to season 3. You'll enjoy your life a lot more.
Yeah, but the problem is with season 3, there's a lot of stuff that they take from the first 2 seasons that's like, well, you can't just skip. Like I wish you could skip because like
Yeah,
honestly, like if you told me that the first 2 seasons were like completely pointless, then I wouldn't have watched it. But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, then actually, no, that's a lie. I would have watched it because I am giving a review on it. But like season
Yeah.
3 is just miles like above
Oh,
seasons one
so
and two. It's
much
like like seasons 1 and 2 are basically like the Shadow Realm. Like when you look at like the Shadow Realm of
better.
Arrowverse seasons, you
Mhm.
have Legend season 4, Arrow
Yep.
season 4, The Flash season 4, and just season 4, and I guess like second half of season 6.
Yeah.
You have Supergirl season 2 and season 5, right? Like Black Lightning deserves to be down there because like or the first 2 seasons league because it's so bad, but like season 3 deserves to be like up there, like with like
Yeah.
Arrow seasons 1, 2, 5, and 8, Flash seasons 1 and 2, Legend seasons 1 through 3, and I guess a little bit of 5 or
Yeah.
5, I'd say, because I actually really like season 5, and all that stuff, like because like I don't know, like I don't know if like they got through like a like a like production crew change, or I don't know what it is, but I hope they keep
Yeah.
it up. Although like the reason why I really like season 3 because a lot of stuff was happening, but it wasn't like an incoherent mess. It wasn't like convoluted or anything like that. It was very straightforward. Like yeah, there's a war coming to Freeland,
Yeah.
and because of that, the ASA needs to keep it under occupation. But they're being a little bit too harsh, so the people start to rebel, and they chose a really bad time to rebel because once they took out the ASA, well, in come the Markovians, and like stuff heated up. Like everything was heating up throughout
Yeah.
like every episode arc from season 3. Like honestly, I cannot give you my favorite episode because I loved all of it. I loved each episode. Each episode was
Yeah.
amazing. I loved it. I love the characters. The characters actually feel fleshed out. There's actually emotion in their characters now. Like I take a look at that one episode, like it was like the Crisis episode. It was the one where
Yeah.
like Jen meets like the other two versions of her. I thought that
Yeah.
was great.
That was super.
I think that is my favorite episode for the season. But
Mhm.
honestly, I don't know anymore because like the last 4 episodes were pretty good too. Like, but then
Yeah.
again, the entire season was just really good. I have a lot of positive things to say, but I just keep going on for like days.
Yeah.
So yeah, like season 3 is like again, like I said, no joke, one of my favorite seasons I've ever watched in
Yeah.
terms of Arrowverse. Obviously,
Mhm.
like I said, it's not like top 5 or even, but
Yeah.
it's like top 10. Like so
I totally agree with you. Like when I watched season 3, I'm like, oh my god! Like the first 2 seasons were actually worth watching. Like
yeah, for sure.
if they put season 3 as their first season somehow, bro. Oh my god, guaranteed first.
Everyone will
Like
be talking about it. Yeah, for sure.
everybody will be talking about it a lot more. But the first 2 seasons were crap. And obviously, I'm assuming they'll bring back a season 4. I don't know what they can do, but we'll have to see
I
on
feel
that
like
point.
I feel like when like the city was like under attack from like or like impending war, I think that's what made this season good because we knew that there's going to be a large scale conflict coming. So basically throughout the entire season you have like one massive like giant build up,
Yeah,
which was great because like it created more in like it increased the stakes. It created every scene more intense. Like every scene was more intense, right? Which
yeah,
I found that to be great. Although I will say that like with season 3, it did kind of come up with like a slow start because you had like Jefferson, like the Pierce family under ASA like watch and stuff like that. But like once that was over, like it was just like it was just like, oh, this is gonna be a fun ride.
yeah,
I think the
exactly.
reason why it was so good is because one, the villain, and two, I guess the
Yeah,
villains.
Yeah, the
Markovian,
villains.
because like they're basically fighting a war, which I thought that was
Yeah.
great. I thought that was like something because the first two seasons were so bland, but this was so unique because we never had something like this in the Arrowverse where they had to go through an entire war. I mean, we probably got something like that in like Arrow season 2, but like the whole war build up stuff was like the last like 2 episodes of that season, which is not bad at
Yeah.
all. But like this was like season wide. I don't think we got something like this in the like. I think this is like by far like one of the most unique seasons in all of the Arrowverse. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really interesting. I really like season 3. Season 3 is by far some of the best I've ever watched in terms of
Yeah.
Arrowverse.
I agree.
Something that I haven't, so one show that I actually don't enjoy watching, and I think this show is by far like okay, no, like I think I'm like the only person that thinks this show is super overrated, and it's Titans. Now, okay, see, when we look at season 1 of Titans, like I like first of all the dialogue, and this is just both seasons of Titans. This is just Titans in general. Um, I feel like the dialogue is trying so hard to be edgy. Like every character would drop the F bomb every like 3 like words.
Oh,
Literally, everyone was like tossing around the F word more than like actual words themselves because they try so hard to be edgy. And it's like, look, I like darker shows, but this show is trying too hard. They're overcompensating themselves. And okay, look, I actually did kind of like season 1. Season 1, I think, thought was it had like really interesting idea. Problem is, I don't like it when like the heroes split off too much. Okay,
yeah.
I'm fine with the heroes splitting off, but like when they split off too much, it's kind of like, oh well, no, that's kind of redundant to have a superhero show where all it is just like superheroes splitting up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, season 1 could have been good if it kept its original ending. It didn't, and because of
Yeah.
that, like the ending was split, where the first half of season 1 was the first half of the finale was the finale for season 1, and then the second half was the finale for season 2. Now, another thing is that in the original ending of Titan season 1,
Yeah.
Dick Grayson was supposed to become Nightwing. He
Yeah.
actually goes through fun fact, he actually goes through the exact same character arc as he does in season 2 with season 1. Where like, yeah, I'm trying to get away from Batman Shadow. I don't want to be this angsty teenager anymore. And I'm a grown adult. He goes through that exact same story arc in season 2, but much worse. So he becomes Nightwing there. But like in season 1 in Titans, he was supposed to become Nightwing. You know,
Yeah.
Another thing is, like I think they were supposed to be. I think like the Doom Patrol was supposed to show up in season 2 or at the season 1 finale. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like season 1 had potential.
Yep.
A problem is, I guess the biggest problem was the tone. It tried so hard to be dark, which that carries on
Yep.
to season 2. But like I'm going to get on that later. But yeah, like I just say that season 1 of Titans had potential, and however, season 2 on the other hand, okay, so I don't know how to say this, but I think season 2 is like by far the worst season I've ever watched. And this is more than just Arrowverse
Mhm.
shows. This is just shows in general.
Mhm.
I've watched some like pretty bad shows. Like
Mhm.
I've like Batwoman season 1 is better than Titan season 2. Like Titan season 2 basically is just a
That one's
rehash of season 1. Like they took like all the same beats from season 1 and all the same type of storytelling type of elements from season 1, put it into season
yeah.
2. They rehash every character arc from season 1 and put it into season 2, but more to it. They add more characters, add more story, make the villains completely laughable. Like Deathstroke is such a huge joke. Like I love his suit, right? His suit's awesome.
Yeah.
But
It
the
suits sick.
character himself is such a huge joke. Like he is nothing compared to the Arrow Deathstroke. Like you look at Arrow Deathstroke and Titans Deathstroke, Arrow
Yeah.
Deathstroke is kind of like, he's kind of like the Chad Deathstroke, right? You know that meme where you have like the Chad dog Doge and like the Virgin Doge, right? This is kind of like something here. Uh Arrow Deathstroke is the Chad Deathstroke, and then the Virgin Deathstroke is the Titans Deathstroke because he does absolutely nothing other than he apparently has a mole or a spy, and plants that on the inside the Titans team to rip them apart. But it's like, okay, why? I mean, like, didn't you already beat them before? And I guess they try getting back together again. But I don't know, like everything, and then more to it. They also They also bring in Cadmus Labs and like what was the other lady's name? Like the second villain, and like she like does absolutely nothing at all. Like the only good thing about season 2 was Superboy because like look with season 1, no, not season 1, sorry, like with every character in Titans, yeah, both season 1 and season 2, they're so depressing. Like the show is trying so hard to be so dark by having every character swear, every character be depressing and hate their lives, so much so that in season 2, Jason Todd nearly commits suicide, and it's like, why? Like I know you're trying to hint at Jason Todd dying so you become Red Hood, but why would you do that when his character was barely even fleshed out to begin with? It's like, what's the point of killing him off when we barely know anything about his character? We barely even see him interact with. Actually, we don't even have one interaction between him and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And another thing is that Bruce Wayne finally gets introduced into the show in season 2, and he's such a joke. Like honestly, like I don't know, like if the writers are like purposely like just trying to like take a poop on her, like take a crap on her face with the Bruce Wayne, but like he legit is like the worst. Like he's like on the same level as like the George Clooney Bruce Wayne from like Batman and Robin, because he's an older Bruce Wayne, but why is he like so it's kind of like the Justice League Batman, where like he tries to be so comedic, but it just fall, like the comedic elements just fall flat on its face. It makes the character look so stupid. Like at the end, like in the season finale of season 2, Bruce Wayne sends emojis to the bad guys. I'm like, wow, this is Batman for you guys. This is our version of Batman. This is exactly what I wanted to see from a Bruce Wayne type of character. Yeah, the world's greatest detective.
He's learning how to use his phone, man.
But it's like the world's greatest detective can't, like, I don't know, send some form of like virus or something like that to like the bad guys. Instead, they said emojis and all that stuff. Which like at that point, like I already gave up, like because I was watching the finale and I just wanted to get the show over with because I was just done with it.
Yeah.
But when I got to that point, I'm just like, yeah, there's no hope for this show for at least this season being salvaged. I hope season 3 is better. I genuinely want season 3 to be better, but like I don't know. Seasons 1 and 2 are pretty bad. Season 2 is even worse. I don't like how they had to rehash every character. I mean, Dick Grayson, like I said, goes through the exact same story arc as he did in season 1, just so that he can become Nightwing in the season finale. Which, by the way, the season finale is all over the place. First, it starts off with Deathstroke. Like the first half of it is Deathstroke getting stabbed by his daughter, even though. And here's another thing: his daughter, like Rose, there's like no build up to her actually calling the Titans her family, because she calls the Titans her family, but it's like, okay, throughout the entire season, you wanted to run away from them. You like hated them with your guts. So where did this whole like family thing come from? And like, and then like you look at Donna Troy's death in season 2 of the finale. It's like the dumbest death for any superhero, because look, Donna is basically just another Wonder Woman. And so you're telling me that Wonder Woman can get killed by just getting electrocuted? Then like, wow, like Shazam and Black Adam, they must be like Wonder Woman's kryptonite if that's the case.
Exactly.
Like like her death was so stupid, and another thing is there's no reason to kill her off. They only killed her off just so that they can use it as like a marketing tool. Because I remember the trailer for the season 2 finale is like, someone will rise as a hero, yet someone will fall and die. And it's like, why would this be the main point to your episode? It's like I don't know, like season 2 is all over the place. I just think it's like, I just think the show so far is overrated beyond, like it gets way too much hype. I think the only reason people like the show is 1, Beast Boy, 2, Superboy and Crypto the dog, and 3, the suits. Like look, I'd admit the suits in Titans are like by far the best out of any DC show. Like the Nightwing suit is like probably the best suit in all of like DC like TV, right? but like that's it. That's where the good of the show ends. Like 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 it takes like one step forward in terms of like appearances and whatnot, like with like the suit, but takes like 500 steps back in every other department.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I just don't understand. Like
Yeah. Get what you're saying, but for me, like I actually we watched them this one time, and I like before this I said I don't think the Titans was that bad. Now we're watching it, bro. It's super super bad. Like it just gets it's just bad. Like I get what you're saying. Like the suit's incredible. Like Superboy is a super cool character. I'm assuming that I think season 3 will be really good. I hope. I think they understand that like some people are overhyping it and whatnot, but this is I agree with you at this point that they went like the super edgy route. Because if you think about Supergirl, not edgy. Flash, not edgy. Like not many like of the Arrowverse shows are edgy. This is like the only one at this point.
well,
Like, the
yeah,
only one
well,
that's like
I guess you can say the edgiest of them was Arrow, but like it was edgy in a good way. It didn't force down like the tone. Like it wasn't forcing down the darker tone. I mean, like yeah, you like walking into the show, like just from looking at the promotional pictures. Like here's the thing, I actually have the promotional poster for Arrow season 1 in my room right now. You can tell just from looking at this poster that yeah, it's going to
yeah,
be a darker show. But it didn't
yeah,
need to like it didn't need to do that by dropping f bombs and like having every character depressed. Like no, there were some like lighthearted and happy-go-lucky characters, right? There are some
yeah,
lighthearted scenes. Like it knew how to handle the tone. With Titans, it's like okay, we're gonna make this like the edgiest show possible. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make every character depressed. Like we're gonna have one of the characters nearly commit suicide. Have every character drop the f bomb like every 5 seconds, and like
yeah,
I don't know, add a lot of blood to every fight. Like I don't understand. I don't understand the thought process behind the writer, like the team behind the first 2 seasons of Titans, because like it's like
yeah,
it, it's like why? Like it's
yeah,
trying so hard to be Daredevil. Like I don't
yeah,
like it really is. And another thing is it's like you know how I mentioned like when I was talking about season 1 where like I don't like teams breaking up and like getting back together again
yeah.
because it's
Oh
like
yeah,
it creates inconsistencies. With season 2,
yeah,
they take it to a whole nother level. We get like
yeah,
okay, with the first 2 seasons of Titans, I think there's like what 20 that's like 26 episodes in total.
yeah,
Within 26 episodes of Titans, the Titans team has been disbanded, broken up, or like just like left alone for like at least 3 times. Like,
yeah,
what does that say to you as a team? Like, should I believe that they're going to be a team? I feel like the like whenever the next time they're going to be a team, I feel like they're going to break up again because like I
yeah,
don't trust them for staying together again. Because like season 3, okay, look at the end of season 1, it gave us the promise that yeah, this team's gonna get better. Like this team's gonna get better. They're actually gonna be a
yeah.
team. They're gonna operate a team. That didn't happen in season 2, you know. And now in season 3, and now at the end of season 2, they promised us that yeah, they're gonna be finally a team again. But why should I
Yeah,
believe them? One of the team members,
exactly.
yeah, like one of their team members was formerly a spy.
Mm,
2 of their team members have broken up with each other, and the other one is going through like an identity crisis because he doesn't know what he wants to be. He
yeah,
claims that he knows what he wants to be, but he doesn't really know like what he is. And oddly
yeah,
enough,
exactly.
that's the main character, Dick Grayson. He still doesn't. I still don't believe he knows what he wants to be, even though
Yeah,
yeah, he became Nightwing now. I
yeah,
don't trust him to like I don't trust him to stay very optimistic about his role. I think
yeah.
like he's gonna be like, oh no, like I'm going through a midlife crisis again or something like that. I don't know. I just don't have faith in the actual team, but I have faith in the show. I really do hope that they turn things around and make the
I
show
think season
better.
3 will be probably the best season. I think they'll improve on this definitely. And if it doesn't, then I don't know what else they can do really.
Another thing is that like the biggest problem with the show was that it stacks too many stories among each other. And because
Yeah,
of that, they either have to rush. They actually no, they do have to rush those stories. Like look at the season finale of Titans. It rushed
yeah,
like 2 story arcs worth of
yeah,
like just plot.
mm,
Like it rushed the Deathstroke story arc, and then also rushed the Cadmus lab story arc too.
yeah,
And so it's like why, you know, like
yeah. I think this pandemic came at the perfect time because like now they can like actually go back, actually like try to focus on getting better. I think. I hope they do.
I hope they do. I hope the writing gets better because like the writing, like I don't want I don't want it to be like super edgy and angsty where it's like every character drops the F bomb or something like that. Like because that's not how you make your tone for a show.
Yeah.
Like if I'm trying to be like happy, if I'm trying to make the show happy, right, or like a very lighthearted show, I don't need every character smiling every 5 seconds and be like, "How's your day, good sir?" Like no, look at the Flash or look at Supergirl. Those are more lighthearted shows. They don't do that stuff. They find a good balance between both light and dark in terms of storytelling, and it worked.
Yep.
Although I do think the Flash does a better job than Supergirl, but yeah, you get the point. Or look at Stargirl. Since we've been talking about Stargirl for the past couple of weeks, look at Stargirl. Stargirl had like Stargirl knows what it wants to be, but it can be very flexible as well. Like I said, with episode 8 of Stargirl, it was basically a thriller. With episode 3, it started off very lighthearted, but took a very dark turn, which was good. It knows how to handle the tone. Like it tries to be like it, we know it's like deep down a lighthearted show, but it's just littered with darkness everywhere. I mean that kind of reflects in with what's going on in Blue Valley with the Injustice Society. Like because the show knows what it wants to be. It knows how to handle its tone. With season 2, it's like, oh, let's make everything angsty. Let's have every character drop the F bomb, but at the same time, let's give Bruce Wayne the most laughably stupid like role in the entire show. Even though Bruce Wayne or Batman is supposed to be like the most serious character out of all the Titans characters at all. Like when you look at every character in the show, Batman is supposed to be the most serious one. He's supposed to be teaching Dick Grayson, even though, like, yeah, Dick Grayson left him. He's still supposed to be teaching him. He's still supposed to be like a father figure to him. And here, he kind of seems like the Uncle Joe type of guy. Where like, yeah, but I'm just gonna sit back with my beer and like, I don't know, like mess around. I don't know, send you news or something like that. Like that's really what it seems like his character is. Like I really don't like this Bruce Wayne. It's more of a joke. Like honestly, like the Kevin Conroy Bruce Wayne from Crisis on Infinite Earths, a lot of people don't like it, but it's better. It's a better Bruce Wayne than the Bruce Wayne from Titans. Like honestly, I'd say that right now. But yeah, that's basically my rant over for Titans.
Yeah, I don't know what they can do with Titans. Like I don't know. Like they can just bring back Deathstroke as a villain. Like
well,
I don't know what they can do. Yeah, he's dead now, but I still don't know what else they can do.
I feel like with season 3, because they're going to be focusing on Blackfire, which is like Starfire's sister, or Coriander's sister. I feel like she's going to be she is going to be the main villain, but I hope that they stick to one villain and not like introduce so many villains within like the same season, because it's like, well, those are going to those are going to like try to fight for the most like attention and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the Justice League is a thing in that universe, correct? I think. Mistaken?
Yeah, they mentioned it.
Yeah, they did mention it. So, like, I'm just curious. Like, I hate it when it's like aliens invade and like, I get it. It's the Titan show, but like, the Justice League is there. Do you really think they're gonna sit back and drink a beer? It's like, oh, aliens are invading. Oh, let's just let Dick Grayson and those guys deal with it.
Yeah, that's a thing, because like I feel like they're gonna try and introduce something big. Like yeah, I do feel like the alien, like the whole like season 3. I feel like with the whole like Blackfire stuff, I feel like I think that's gonna be like there's gonna be like some like an alien invasion, but like it would be too difficult for the Justice League to not take notice. Which is weird because they're already established, so I wonder how they're going to handle that. But regardless, I hope they handle it better than the first 2 seasons.
I think they will. I still believe in them. I think it's like the same thing with Black Lightning. Obviously, I'm not saying Black Lightning season 1 and 2 are worse than season 1 and 2 of Titans, but it's kind of like the same wavelength. Like season 3 was a lot better, so I'm assuming season 3 will be a lot better for Titans. I have high hopes.
Yeah, for sure. I guess speaking of high hopes, or not high hopes, but just hope for DC, Stargirl got a renewal. Stargirl got renewed, and there's more details to it. So it will be renewed. Here, let me just bring it up, because I actually have it here on my phone. I kind of saved I kind of saved all of like the notes that we have. So yeah, Stargirl got renewed. It's going to be coming to exclusively to the DC to not DC, uh, from DC Universe to the CW. So it's the only thing that's going to change is that the CW is going to be funding that show. Other than that, I'm pretty sure everything else is going to stay the same.
Mm.
I don't know if the same studio is going to be like working on that show, but you know we'll just have to wait and see. But one thing that I'm actually curious about is that this is the last like DC Universe original show that's being moved elsewhere.
Yeah.
Which I think we talked about this in like what was it, the second episode of the podcast, where I think this is the end for DC Universe because you look at
I
every
think so
DC
too.
Universe original show, you have Stargirl, which now is being moved over to what is it? It's now being moved over to the CW, right? You have Titans, which Titans is being aired on Netflix, but I'm curious to see because we don't really know much about season 3, other than I think they're gonna be like I think like production is starting up again for season 3, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it is being aired on Netflix, which I think it's aired on Netflix a month or 2 months
Yeah.
after the season ends. But yeah, it's being aired on Netflix, and I'm kind of like getting the suspicion that I feel like Netflix might just straight up pick up that show.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so. I think they will.
yeah, and then you have Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn. Now those two shows are also DC Universe originals, and they are being moved over to HBO Max.
Yep.
Well, Doom Patrol season 2 is already on HBO Max, but like yeah, the Harley Quinn show is being moved to HBO Max. So um, these are not looking good for the DC Universe app. But honestly, for
Yeah.
me, I kind of hope it dies out because okay,
I agree.
let's take a look at DC Universe. DC Universe is a streaming service from Warner Brothers that it's exclusive DC content, right? So DC shows, you know, I think you can like also look at some like other like older DC stuff, right? Um, it's only available in the US, which I think is why the show's getting like, or not the show, but the actual streaming service is like slowly dying. Another thing is that it's only DC content when Warner Brothers has its. Okay, here's the thing: Warner Brothers has another streaming service, which is HBO Max. There,
Yeah.
you have all things related to HBO Max, or all things related to Warner Brothers. You even have all the Harry. No, I don't know if all, but you have most of the Harry Potter movies on there too, right? Which that's going to attract a lot of people. Like HBO Max has been like attracting a lot of people because I mean, look, you also have Game of Thrones on there as well. I think Game of Thrones, right? HBO did Game of Thrones, yeah. So you
Yeah.
have Game of Thrones on there as well. That's also from Warner Brothers. You have a lot of stuff from Warner Brothers. You're also getting the Zack Snyder Justice League cut. You know, you're also going to be
So
getting
excited.
we're also getting to like the extended version of Batman v Superman.
Yep.
So like you might as well just move all DC stuff to HBO Max. So that's the reason
I think
why
so.
I kind of wanted to get killed off because it's like it's first of all the demographic is not that great. It's only in the US, and because of that, most people can't watch those shows. So like all the other shows, in order to keep those shows alive, they need to like kind of air them on a different platform. You know, again, like I
Yeah.
said, Stargirls aired on the CW a day later. You have Titans, which is aired on Netflix, I guess a month after the season's over, and then you have Harley Quinn and Harley Quinn and Doom Patrol on HBO Max. And not more to it, there are more shows more DC shows actually coming to HBO Max. We also have what is it? You also have the Green Lantern show, Blue
Yep.
Beetle. And
Beetle.
one DC show we have on there right now is Watchmen too. So like it might as well just become the new hub for DC shows as well.
I think that's probably the best move. Like you have most of your shows on there already. Why would you not do that? Like
Yeah, like
honestly.
what I think DC Universe was created. Well, I think it was started. When HBO Max came out, it basically became like second best to Disney Plus. I mean, people.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, so some people still ride on Netflix, but like Netflix is slowly
Mm.
dying out. A lot of the
Yeah.
very popular shows are ending soon, so it's like you know why
Yeah.
don't like you know HBO Max seems to be the next runner up, you know, behind Disney Plus. So it's like
Yeah.
okay, I think it's a smart move to kill off the DC Universe app, move all the
Yeah.
shows there, or like move them somewhere else. So like Stargirl's okay, Stargirl's gonna be aired on the CW. Um, what else? Yeah, I feel like Titans should actually just be picked up by HBO Max. I don't see
I
why
think
it's
so
on
too.
Netflix because like
Yeah.
it is a DC show and like
Yeah.
Netflix is like kind of neutral in the DC and Marvel kind of war, I guess. So, I don't
Kind
see
of because
why.
you. Yeah, sorry. I was like when it comes to like Netflix and DC and Marvel shows, like Flash, every episode it comes out the week after. So like Flash is on there, Supergirl's on there, Arrow's not, Legends are not.
Legends
So
is not on
yeah,
there too. Yeah, Black Lightning's also
yeah,
on there as well.
yeah. So it's weird.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
just say
weird.
it's
Like
weird.
I kind of just want like all the DC stuff being moved over to HBO Max. It's more
Yeah,
organized too, and they can market it better too.
yeah, they totally could.
But it's like but yeah, like I think with the news of the Stargirl renewal, I think it's really bad for DC Universe. I think this honestly, I think the
Yeah,
streaming service might get killed off.
yeah.
I'd give it okay, bare minimum, I'd give it another year before
I
it
think
finally
so
gets
too.
like shut down.
Yeah, I think another year as well.
But
Around a year.
yeah, actually another show speaking of HBO Max, another show coming to HBO Max that's DC related is actually a Gotham PD show. Now,
Yeah.
this might sound similar to the Gotham show that we already have, but it's actually
Hmm.
not. I feel like it's going to be a little bit different because this Gotham show is actually going to be taking place in the same universe as the Robert Pattinson Batman, which is the new Batman
Yeah.
movie coming out in 2021. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really like I'm actually really excited for this because
Yeah. I'm
Gotham
so
was a
high.
really good show, but the thing,
Gotham was a really, really good show.
yeah, so like I'm really excited to see how this show will turn out. And more
Yeah.
to I like okay, I have a question to ask you, Brendan. Do you think that this show is gonna be similar to Gotham, where it takes place before Batman, or do you think it's going to take place during Batman's time? Because like
This.
all that we know right now is that it's taking place in the Matt Reeves Batman universe.
Yeah.
So do you think like we're gonna get the movie first, then the show, or like do you think the show's gonna set up the movie?
In my opinion, I think we need to do the movie first. I think it should be during Batman because we haven't really gotten a show like that where like actually we get to see like Gordon and like Batman actually talk much like I would like in a TV show setting. I think they should do the movie first and then bring out the show like maybe like a couple weeks after that. We don't know when it's coming out, do we? I don't think we do. No, we don't.
I assume probably after the Batman show or movie. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it will probably be after the Batman movie, and I don't think it will be during. If that makes sense because we already got a Gotham show without Batman, where it's just like Gordon beating all
Yeah,
these guys
the
beforehand.
last episode was when Bruce Wayne became Batman. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah,
Yeah,
it would be really interesting to see Bruce Wayne and Batman and Gordon kind of in the
yeah,
same type of setting. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm actually really curious for this new Gotham show.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually super excited for it. I'll just have to see, bro. Like, I think it will be super good. I think, like, if they did the same thing, like a little bit off like the normal Gotham show, like the first one, I think they'll do really well. We'll just have to see. Like, honestly, we just have to see.
hmm And speaking of Batman, for our final segment, we're actually going to be discussing the new Batwoman casting. So I have it. I'm just going to bring it up here. So Javicia, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Javicia
Yeah.
Leslie is the new Batwoman. She is now playing the Ryan Wilder character.
Mhm.
Mentioned before, I think it was like
Yeah.
a couple episodes ago on the podcast. But yeah, Brendan, do you have any thoughts on this?
Like honestly, I think me and you discussed this off podcast. Like, we just need to see her in the suit first. Like, like I can't say much about her. Like, obviously, I'm willing to give her a chance, but it's going to be really difficult to switch from season 1 to season 2, like we've talked in podcasts before. I just have to see her in the suit first because, like, I don't know much about this new character that they're bringing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
So
it's an original character, not
yeah,
like
so
for someone from the comics.
like that's the thing. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. It's not a
hmm
person from the comics. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, I would like to see her in the suit first, and I just need to see how she acts. That's
Yeah, of
like
course.
it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm willing to give her a chance. Like, she's a super pretty girl and whatnot, but that doesn't mean things like legit nothing.
hmm Oh yeah, of
Like,
course. Yeah.
I just don't know what they're gonna do, bro. Like the second season of Batwoman is gonna be super interesting. All I have to say.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how they're gonna take that route. Apparently, like she's gonna like the big mystery for season 2 is that Kate Kane's gonna be presumed dead or missing. And then like you have
Yeah.
Ryan Walder taking over. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this goes. I hope it turns. I hope this is really well. Like it just turns out really well. So
I think it will. It's just like you said before in many other podcasts. Like it's gonna be hard to change. The first season, we just got used to her, and she just left.
yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's really it's gonna be really weird. Not weird, but it's really gonna be it's really gonna take some time to kind of get broken into this new Batwoman. But yeah,
I
I'm really
totally agree.
curious. But
I'm really curious about it. I think she'll do a great job because I'm pretty sure she's a pretty good actor. So we'll just have to see.
yeah.
Just have to see.
Well, on that note, that will be the end for this week's podcast. Thank you all for stopping by. I know, I mean, we covered a lot, but yeah, we promised to not cram in so much stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We'll probably be getting back to normal now.
yeah, things should
I
be getting
think.
back to normal now for both of us. But yeah, thanks for all for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good day, people.
And make sure before we go, make sure you check out our Instagram account, Galactic Arrowverse Hub. There'll be a lot of stuff that a lot of content that we'll be pumping out for you guys in between podcast episodes. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Have a good day, people.